Bienvenidos and welcome a Cositas, Mami Never Told Me, a podcast that dives deep into the Latin cultural norms that have long haunted the feminine genre. Montate and buckle up, porque it's going to be a roller coaster ride. No fuimos.
Live and direct and recording.
Oh, are we recording?
Hi,
Hey, girl. She caught me on a spicy moment.
I caught her in a spicy moment without planning it because I meant to click run soundtrack and it ran record.
It's
so
all good.
they could
It's all
just guess.
good.
They could just guess what you were talking about.
It's all good. No, they don't gotta guess. I was saying right that I ain't gonna say what because I don't want nobody coming for me in the comments or whatever. But it be some of y'all that be real submissive with y'all men, and y'all need to cut it the fuck out. Right? Because if he wants two pussies, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Some of y'all act like y'all don't know y'all in that situation. But if you want two dicks, then it's a problem. That's what I was talking about. Not saying that you need to go get two dicks, but I'm just saying. Sorry, y'all. Not sorry. Should I further explain?
We were just pre-recording and we were singing All I Want for My Birthday is a big booty
hoe.
And
then we said we don't want big booty hoes.
We don't want big booty hoes.
Right.
And then I don't know how we transitioned there, but sometimes I wish we could just press record on our conversations because I literally cannot think about how we transitioned to, well, not in this certain place because...
Well, sometimes we have girl talk that I can't have on here because I am a partially respectable married woman. So there's a lot of times when we're having girl talk, especially when we're at your house and we were having girl talk and a couple of the girls was like, yo, I wish you were like this on the podcast. And I was like, my husband would have a whole conniption.
Period. I'm
trying to stay married.
I'm recording. No, I'm recording. You're being disrespectful. I said no. Thank you. Make your way upstairs. What is the timing on this? 2 minutes. Perfect. Continue.
Ain't nothing like a little parenting. And I don't even think you should edit that. Leave it right there.
Like, I literally left her with dinner. She's good to go. You got the nerve to come down here and ask for dessert? It's a no, ma'am. It's a no.
She want a cameo appearance. They hello.
No, but it's also like...
Your hair look good, by the way.
Does it? Thank you. I got a trim and it falls in a really weird way. But, yeah, we don't want big booty hoes. That's not.
Not that we think big booty hoes are bad or whatever. Do you think big booty hoes?
That's great.
Because there's mad people out here with no booties buying the booty.
You like it. I love it.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, me personally, I don't want a big booty hoe or a big booty woman. I'm very happy in my situation. Love you, husband.
Anyway, Diana, you look mad young with your hair split like that.
The shit is, right? If you're not watching us, then you have a problem. So the shit is that when I wear my hair back.
Now, because today there is no glam. Today
There's no glam.
We are doing this for the love because it is late at night and we are getting it in.
Yes.
And Diana clicked on, Diana came on and said, yo, you look mad young.
I look mad young.
I think it's the split.
No, I think, you know what the fuck it is? It's because you can see the grays, right? So, but anyways.
Can't see shit.
The thing is, right, that I am able now to do a ponytail, even though I won't call it a ponytail per se, because if I put some fake hair around it, then it look like a ponytail.
You gotta say the line, the line.
Don't force anything. Don't force anything, relationship, friendships, and ponytails.
Period.
So mine could actually go into a ponytail, but when I'm out in the streets, I got to wrap a little bit of fake hair around it because if not, people won't rank on me. People like me, they're going to rank on me. Like so I was telling Rocio that now I can do a ponytail. Like I could do a ponytail. So it brings all the shit back, right? So then I'm like, I wish they had a ponytail for like my neck and my chin. Dr. Payman. Paging Dr. Payman.
I did hear that there's this thing called Nefertiti. I call it Egypt, but I guess it's injections here, like Botox that lifts this. I mean, the problem is it only lasts like 4 months, so I'm
down. 4 months.
I ain't even
4 months. How much is it?
No, I'm going to.
Well, they also have.
Do this.
They also have some threads that also
do that.
do that. You put them in and they last 4 to 6 months depending on your system, what you eat, all that shit. But they have like this thing on Instagram, and I seen a doctor in Miami, of course. But some of these bitches, when they come out, I'll be like, is
So
that the same person?
You look completely different.
Yes, but then some of them look good, like from different doctors. But there's this guy that's getting a lot of clients in Miami, and I don't know the name, but it's escaping me. But the people, I don't know if they're really happy with unless they're swapping them out with somebody else, like
to give you the afters.
Yes, the before don't match up.
Doubt it. I don't doubt
They don't match up. I'm like, because you look at everything. You look at the nose. You look at the eyes. I'm always looking, and I'll be like, that ain't the same person. The fuck?
I know. Even on social media, sometimes, like when it goes from like fat to lost weight and fit, I'll be like,
right.
I mean, you do look completely different when you lose a significant amount of weight, but like,
yeah,
the shit with AI and like digital advancements. Like catfish has existed forever, but now it's like we getting catfished even when we're not looking to be catfished. It's like even when we're not being entertained in relationships, it's like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Because I enjoy a filter every once in a while, right? And then sometimes like I'll be looking crazy as fuck when I walk out the house. Yeah. I love a filter, right? But then I like to also come on here like barefaced like I am today. So when people see me, they're like, oh shit, you actually look like your pictures. I'm like, the fuck am I supposed to look like?
No, but I said, Diana, something about the essence today is giving. Yeah.
Pues nena, I'm going to put my hair back all the time.
Period. It gives you a like,
El que ni va a comer.
Who's that?
My husband. I'm not going to eat. I already ate at the job.
Lies and fairy tales. Lies and fairy tales.
You don't got to be sorry. I'm glad I fried all the chicken. And we're going to leave that in there too.
We're going to leave that in there too, because this is how we record. We record when we have a minute.
We're going to leave that in too. I'm going to tell you the whole story, right? So we send some food to his job, whatever. He said, oh, well, I ate at the... I don't want chicken and rice because I already ate that at the job. I already ate chicken and rice. I was like, all right. I still cooked all the chicken because I was like this. For those of you that are listening in the car, my lips are perked up. You ever know how Puerto Ricans be cuando dicen un bote? I see. And then look, he in the microwave looking for chicken. I'm glad I fried it all.
But now you should have known. That's why you cooked the food, because you were like, okay.
I was like, should I fry all this chicken? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fry all this chicken.
Yeah.
So how you doing, girl?
Good. I'm actually not traveling for the next few weeks.
But where were you? Where were you? Fill us in.
Well, ask me when exactly. No, I just came from Barbados, which is a beautiful. I had never been to Barbados. It's such a beautiful island. It's like St. Bart's meets Jamaica. It was so nice. The food was so good. The people were so cool, with our personalities. Because, with other personalities, I'm like, yo, everybody real angry up on this bitch. Everybody angry. But it's that like Caribbean lifestyle. But it was great. It was nice. And now I'm here. I have tons and tons to do. But the craziest part is I was in Barbados, and we'll talk a little bit about current events. I read about the president bombing Iran or making the decision to bomb Iran, and I freaked out a little bit. I was like, wait a minute, are we at war? Which essentially, I believe we are at war. And then of course I'm in another country, so I'm thinking like, shit, can I get home? I have some international travel coming up, but this shit is crazy. And then I thought of your son, but he's not based in Japan.
No, he's still in North Carolina. Local. He's going to be deploying in April.
To the middle of the ocean, though.
So they're supposed to be going to Norway and Sweden.
Okay.
He's very excited about Norway
because
and
they're
Sweden.
Pretty neutral. They're pretty neutral territories.
But he said, I think I'm going to see war, Mom. And I was just like, so when you said that you've been thinking about how crazy that you were scared a little bit, I was scared a
Can
lot.
you imagine? I can't imagine what you're feeling.
But when I spoke to him, he eased me. Like all my kids have that, and I guess I've instilled that in them. I guess, right? Where he's just like, well, I've come out here to train to be the person that I am, and if it just so happens that something happens, then you know that I tried my best and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, you're not scared? And he's like, nope, because I've trained and I'm ready to serve my country. And I was like, okay.
Yo, I salute you. We take
For real, because I was just like,
because
okay. Like, I don't.
I mean, I guess there is something to be said. It's almost like it's like a sorority, a fraternity, a sisterhood, a brotherhood. I feel like no one else can understand your experience besides someone who's been there alongside with you. And obviously they are trains, and like it's all about the country. It's all about your country. It's really very little to do with who is the leader of the country at the time. But really, when you take that military oath, it's to protect the people. And I commend him, and I commend all of our soldiers,
service people,
forces, because when I tell you, bitch, I'm not the one.
Well, hence the surprise I was in when he told me that he wanted to do that. I was just like, are you sure? And at the time, he's going to be 21 this year. So at the time he was 18 turning 19, and I've always believed in supporting whatever they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I've even gone as far as telling my kids, if you want to be a drug dealer, if you want to be a stripper, whatever the fuck, you're gonna be the best one. I'm gonna tell you, don't be a drug dealer selling dime bags. You know what I'm saying?
I don't wanna say we would ever be okay with stripping.
No.
But
you got to be the best stripper. No, and not to say that I wanted them to be drug dealers.
No, I get what you're saying.
But 100%. I was just like saying it to be like exaggerated.
Whatever it is,
like, whatever it is you're gonna do. And they looked at me like, I don't want to be a drug dealer or a stripper. And I was just like, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're like, well,
you have the potential to do whatever you want. And I've always said, whatever you want, I will support you in. Like, and when he said that, what did he say right after? Because my husband and I were both like, what? Because at the time the president was president already, and we were just like, what? Are you sure? Like,
Right.
And everybody that I told, throughout life and at work, and they're like, oh my God, is he sure? Like all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I have to be confident in his choices and in the way that we raised them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what's funny about your kids? It makes sense. It like literally, it like makes complete. It just like makes complete sense. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? I could see that. Because you gotta be a little, like, you have to be able to be in solitude. You have to be able to put your mind in another focus. It's like, not all soldiers are great soldiers, but it's like with him specifically, you're like, oh, you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense. He's built a little different.
He really is.
You know what I'm saying?
He's always been very in the background, just taking everything in. He's never been a person to be fake. He's never been a person to follow. He makes for a
perfect soldier,
right?
Like a perfect lieutenant, a perfect cop, like someone who leads eventually. It's like, yeah, it's actually.
Yep. And I would always have conversations because, like I've said in the past, like I believe in just being really direct and honest and transparent. I don't like shelter my kids because I've come across, actually even recently, adults that have been sheltered and they're still lacking common sense. Like, what the hell is going on with people with common sense? Like
all day, I'll be like,
I'm like,
that line,
girl, they were out of line.
That line, it was short. The common sense line was short. Girl. I don't even know if there was a line. I think it was
the shit people say
by selection, because I'll be like,
and get away with like the stuff that comes out of people, and I'm saying like,
yo, bitch, let me tell you,
how are you navigating the
I'm
world?
in Barbados, right, on the beach. It's 5 of my girlfriends. We're a little bougie. We're in Barbados. It's tons and like when I tell you, it's all white people. All white people, obviously the people who live there, but at the beach clubs, at the restaurants, it's all white people, mostly European, like you can tell their accents. So we're sitting at the beach and this couple comes up. I could smell the the the
Alcohol?
whiteness.
Oh,
No, the
the
whiteness.
privilege.
But then he sits down, it's a couple, and they happen to he starts talking to us, and I said, I just, sometimes you're just like,
The
I'm a
vibe
tune
is
out.
off a
I
little
don't
bit.
want to have this conversation. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? More
Mhm.
importantly, we're there on vacation. We're chilling. It's a vibe. We have music playing over. We're playing Bad Bunny, right? He sits down. He gets a beer, and it's like he starts talking to one of the girls. I forget who he started talking to, and they happen to be. He's like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" One of the girls is like, "Oh, New York," and he's like, "Oh, we're from Connecticut." And she goes, "Oh, she lives in Connecticut." I was like, "Oh
God, don't
my
include
God."
me. You
So I
silly. I thought he
literally,
was going to say he was European.
right, I literally went. I gave the peace sign, like, "Oh," he's like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, I told them where I live now. I said, "But I was raised in Hartford." I'm very quick to be like, "I'm raised in
Yeah.
Hartford," because I
Yeah.
already know the thought people have of Hartford. Like, they live in row 8 and it probably never come down here to this part of the state. And this man proceeds, right, to say, "Oh, how is that? We had a friend who said they kill people all the time in Hartford. It's so dangerous."
Where does he live?
In Rowayton, of course. It's like over there by the water, Westport, closer to New York. And I was like,
So he lives near New London,
right.
where they also kill people.
So I literally said,
They kill
that's
people
so funny
everywhere.
that you said that, because I said, well, I was raised in Hartford, and it's like any other major city, like Bridgeport, New Haven. I'm surprised you guys haven't made your way to Hartford. And he goes, "Oh yeah, is it still dangerous with gangs?" I was like, I literally just stopped talking, because in my head, I have been waiting to really explode on someone. So then he says, "What do you guys think of Mondani, the new mayor in New York?" I said, "You know what? I literally gathered my things. It was already, the sun was coming down, and I just departed, because I was my girlfriend goes, 'We love Manzani.' Like, she's like, whatever. Even not if she didn't love him, her energy was very much like, 'I'm over this conversation. Why are you continuing to talk to us?'"
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "We love Manzani." And then the wife goes, "What do you guys do in New York?" Raven goes, "Work." It's like, so for me, we started gathering our shit, and I was like, we need to beeline and exit, which we were doing anyway. And those things that you think about after the fact. After I walked away, I should have been like, "What do you think about Trump? Because he's a real piece of shit." But then I said, "You know what, Rocio, you're on vacation, and it's time to go." But it goes back to what you said. It's like, read the room, asshole. You have 5 Latina women playing Bad Bunny. Is that why you asked us about the socialist Manzani, who is an Indian man? Like,
and again, these are people that exist in
the masses.
I call them button pushers, right? Because they want to get a reaction, and
Yeah.
and when we started talking about it, she said that they were European, that they looked white, right? And let's not get it twisted. We're not talking about all white people. That's not what we do.
No, for sure. And for clarity, what we were running into was all Europeans.
All Europeans.
But like people starting conversation with us, but this couple were white Americans.
We as Latinas, like, when you've been through what we've been through, and when we continue to come across people that are asking us questions because they're curious, or because they want to know, or because they want to push buttons. This individual seemed like he wanted to push buttons. Yeah, he was probably figuring out, wait, you're in the same space I'm in. How'd you get here?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To those people, I usually pay them no mind. When they give me a push button, when I get a push button, right? I came across this. Someone asked me recently, so are you a Democrat or a Republican? Right? And I said, why? Why? I could be something else, right? There's like 4, 5, 6 different other things I could be. He said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Yeah. If people could refer to themselves as furries, have you heard about that? I could be whatever I want." So he's just
to the rent is too damn high party. This was a party in New York like 15 years ago.
So then he goes, well, that just means you're not a fan of Trump. And I said, well, I'm Puerto Rican. Do you think I should be a fan of Trump? And then he goes, well, I don't know. Why you say that? I was like, well, I don't know what your race is, but what if, let's say, he went to where you lived, where you needed paper towels during COVID, and he was throwing paper towels at your family or your cousins or just your people in general. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Of course you did. It doesn't affect you.
Because it didn't affect you. That's what I said. But it doesn't affect you. He said, you know what? You're right. And I said, but you know what? For clarity, if you ever have any type of questions regarding hair texture, regarding Puerto Ricans, you could even come to me about Black people. Because this conversation that we just had was very awkward. And I don't know if you thought it was awkward, but I did. And someone else would probably tell you to fuck off. And some other person will probably slap the shit out of you. So I'm saving you all of that by saying that I'm going to be your ally because I thought I liked you. But now I'm like, He was like, you don't like me? And I said, well, I don't know. Because it felt like you were trying to get a reaction from me. And when you didn't get it, then you were like, okay, let me take a couple steps back.
Right.
Because I'm not going to give you the sassy Latina. No, I'm gonna be your ally. I'm gonna learn you as
like what is the goal? What is the goal of a conversation?
Yeah, like I don't understand. And then honestly though, Rocio, there are people, like I said, no common sense that are walking around the world that are saying things that they don't think that they're gonna get a reaction from. I see tons of videos on Instagram of people getting slapped and punched and knocked the fuck out after the guy. There's been a guy. Oh my God. There's numerous videos I've seen of women and men, Spanish or Black, that say, yo, just get out my face. Please just get out my face.
And they continue.
Please. And they continue and continue and continue and continue and continue. And it's not only been white on Black and Spanish. It's been ICE that are Spanish with the same accent that they're approaching the people. Like, what is really going on? The hate is out of control. So I've chosen to stay in retirement because the Diana of many years ago would have probably popped off and it wasn't the time or place. And I just don't feel like giving that reaction because then I stay in that place. That energy just festers and then I'm just snapping at everybody else. Then I'm just mad for no reason.
I got up and walked away.
That's the best way. So they're probably what's wrong with those girls?
Exactly.
We thought they were so nice, and now look at them just walking away. Well,
we didn't even give him enough energy for him to make judgment of nice. It was just like, read the room. Don't nobody want to talk to you.
Read the beach.
Like, we're here relaxing. Mind you, I was on half a gummy, straight, nice, relax. And that's when I said, Rocio, my inner voice, whatever, my feminine intuition, my bitch was like, get your bag and get going. Because I also know myself and I was like, this mother sucker could say some shit right now that's going to make me go.
How old was he?
Oh man. Like
that doesn't help.
55, 60, the wife, they were drinking. I mean, cool. Live your best life. Trying to relate.
But wait, but you're in Barbados.
This is what I'm saying. This is the other part that I'm saying. I'm like,
wait.
You are partaking from all the shit that you're probably privately against. Yes. Get your shit, Rocio. And all the girls read my cues and they started. I said, get your shit because this is not the conversation. It was our first day at the beach too. I said, not today.
Well, the thing is also, right, that people don't realize there's been so much, not just from now and all the stuff that's happening with ICE and all that stuff. There's pent up shit from before George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? So all that frustration is being balled up. And now folks are coming out the woodwork and showing their racism, putting their racism on their chest.
But
and listen, it's fine.
Not identifying as a racist. Definitely.
But there's some that are. Oh, there's some that are.
Boldly, yes. But it's funny bold that you said George Floyd because I always refer to it as people in Cuba are before or after Castro. Since George Floyd have been just waiting to have an exchange. And I felt
not waiting in the
coming,
wings.
And I said, you know what? Let me get my bag and let me make my way because the energy was exactly what you said. Very much like, oh, how are they here?
Mm-hmm.
At the front row at the beach. Like I told you, my girlfriend Raven is a vibe chasing, made reservations at the best places, whatever. And it was this energy of like, these must be, it was almost like, are they like a pop group? Like the ignorance is so
Not
deep. Because it's like they can't just be like moms who are on a little vacation. He
I'm
even
looking for
started
this
some
video.
musician shit. I was like, the funny thing is, this leads us into today's episode
Mm-hmm.
because what I wasn't gonna give, which I will give happily when the time is right, was the stereotypical gully Latina. One of the stereotypes that we're constantly up against, that I realize there's so many stereotypes that we are constantly challenged with that we don't even realize we're challenged with. You know what I'm saying? There is this energy and this sense upon sight that people pass judgment. And for you to pretend or act like, oh no, yes. First of all, we've had this conversation on previous podcasts as just simply being a woman in business. You're already up against women are emotional, Black and brown women have attitudes. Black and brown women are lazy, when it's crazy that it is proven through research that Black and brown women do the most work. And today's episode is about Latina stereotypes, addressing them. How do they hurt and harm, or how do they help and heal us? And that's one of them. Being immediately portrayed as first of all, an angry woman, but an angry Latina, or like that easily transitions into sassy, always being sassy, always having sass. But it's very frustrating too, because the fact that we can tap into that sass is something that I love.
I love what I mean? I love a spicy girlfriend.
Yes.
That's type A.
It's like, even when you talk about your gig now, where you're like, I'm myself all the time, and it feels so nice to be myself. And it's like, culture is something that, well, I was gonna say culture is something that you can't hide, but I just realized that a lot of people are able to mask and like go in and put on the face. But what you can't hide is your visual ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
well,
some Latinos assimilate white, but it's like,
So I found the thing I wanted to show you, because it's like so perfect.
Is always political. As the white friend at this event, I'm going to go ahead and say to the women who look like me, to the men who look like me, it's incredibly important to remember that so much of what we love in America comes from Black culture, and white people need to show up for Black people the way they show up to be entertained by Black culture. So given who's in office and given what we're seeing happening to Black and brown communities in our country, we better get our shit together. It is always political.
Love Sophia Bush.
Sophia Bush.
Love her. And cheers to you, because that's allyship. And she's at the NAACP Awards. And it's basically the truth. It's that whole conversation that we've talked about. Oh, you racist, but you love some Black dick. Same shit, bitch. Like it's cool when your daughter dates a Black athlete. It's cool to cheer on the guys who play in the NBA, NFL, MLB, and all the other major sports.
And you know what the thing is? That there's so many white women in my life that are very curious about my culture and about Black culture. And they ask the questions because they want to understand it, right? So I feel bad and maybe sad even for people that don't have that, right? Because to me, if you have a coworker, a friend at the hair shop, a friend at the nail salon, that's another. Why not share in that ethnicity? Growing up with my child playing baseball, right? So it's sort of kind of like my oldest and I. He's 31, I'm 51. So I sort of kind of grew up with him, right? Well, bringing him to all these baseball games where he was an elite baseball player. and in the AAU spaces where there were only one of one, sometimes maybe one of two. And I got to know a lot of Caucasian women, and they, oh my God, cool as fuck. And we had that one thing in common. And at the time when I was coming up, I came from the hood. So the only white people I really saw were teachers, people in leadership roles, teachers, people in government, people taking the census, people working at the state. There weren't a lot of white people in my neighborhood. And then I tapped into some white people when I went to camp as a 16-year-old. And then she said, you should come over to my house. And I was like, okay, Camp Coyote. And I said, all right, let me see if my mom will bring me. We pull up in Simsbury. And I'm like, damn, this is your house? Her house was as big as my freaking project building. Like,
are we at the governor's mansion? What the hell?
You know what I'm saying? But that was one of my eye-opening moments that I was just like, okay, shit, there's some real shit. Like, you could have friendships and be outside of whatever environment you're in, right? And get to know those people, and they can know you too. But it has to be a want. It has to be a 50-50 want to do it. And there's a lot of people that are racist and don't want to do it. And that's fine. Stay in your own lane. You don't have to create extra shit. But I'm very fortunate to have white friends who are cool as fuck that are that have adapted some of the slang and and when some of them say it, I'll be like, okay, you understand. Or when they reference a song.
It's like Sophia Bush. It's like, if you think about it, there is so much urban lingo used in advertising and marketing, the ebonics. Like, if you ever notice JetBlue, all the planes have very catchy names, right? Sam, I took a picture of it. I'm going to look it up while we speak, because they always have very catchy names, but the names they always have ebonics undertones. It's always in urban lingo. Like the plane that I flew to get to Barbados, I'm going to tell you the name of the plane. New number, blue disc. The name of the plane. I'm going to show you.
That's
name
amazing.
of the plane.
That's amazing.
The name of the plane. New number, blue disc. So it's like, new number, who this?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then to come back, it was the plane had another name. And I've noticed this about JetBlue. All their planes always have funky names. But it's
and I think they have the most diverse staff as well when it comes to like pilots.
Yeah.
And just anybody that works for JetBlue, I always notice my people. And not just when we're going into Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
I noticed them everywhere when I was coming up to Connecticut, when I'm leaving down to go to wherever. There's always a Spanish, Black person. I'm just like, okay. Well, because like back in the day when American Airlines was dominating, and it was like only American Airlines, Delta, and you really had to wear an outfit to go travel, right? By the way, Delta just banned Crocs and pajama pants in Tampa. Anyways, they don't want people wearing pajamas on their flights. When I saw that, I was like, thank you.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean,
wear a sweatsuit or something.
There's a time and a place. There's
for real.
A time and a place.
For real. And leave the bonnets at home. If you're going to wear something out, wear a nice scarf.
Oh, no.
Wear a nice scarf.
And I'm going to say it. The flights to DR in Puerto Rico, bitches be in bonnets because they're doobies. I'm like this. You landing in the middle of humidity. And no doobie is going to say that.
No product. No bobby pin. As soon as the doobie come out, that shit gonna be
SpongeBob pant pajamas. like enough.
That used to be white and now are beige.
A time and place. A time and place.
I don't even know where I was going now. I'm all distracted. No, but I love that, that I'm able to tap into other cultures too, right? Like I love me a Frank Sinatra. I love me a Nirvana. I love me Metallica. I love me, Guns N' Roses. Back in the day, MTV. All the videos you saw were Duran Duran,
like
Billy Joel, U2. The best. 80s music was incredible. But let's not forget that there was also hip hop. So it's like, right? Exactly. And they thought hip hop was going to go away. No, sorry. So
I mean,
Still
hip
some.
hop is also
But
the base of use again in tons of marketing, tons of advertising, the beats,
the
the
McDonald's, the
undertones.
everything.
Yeah, it's like the jingles are very much like rap.
Yo, at my
Everything.
old job, now that you say that, at my old, not to cut you off, sorry,
No.
at my previous job, and I'm gonna say it was probably about, I was there 17 years, so it was probably like at my fifth or sixth year mark. There was this guy. I won't say his name because if he listens, he's gonna know what I'm talking about him, and I had to set him straight. But every time that, because back in the day, Vanessa and I used to work together too. So every time he would see
Look
me,
at that.
yeah. Every time he used to see me and Vanessa, he'd be like, "Hey," and he's Caucasian Italian man, right? So
Mhm.
he would talk regular to everybody, like corporate, regular, right? English. And then he would see us, and he'd be like, "Hey, girls, what y'all doing? Yeah, what y'all getting down with today?" And me and Vanessa used to be like, "What the fuck? Hey, girlfriend, what?"
Cause he thought he was cool. He thought he was being cool.
So wait, after like the fourth or fifth time, I said, I'm gonna call him Peter for now. I'm like, I was like, "You Peter, you know you could talk to us regular. Like we don't even talk like that."
Yeah, like
He was like,
what
"Well, I
do you
just want you to know that I'm down." I was like, "We know you're down. You have a pinky ring on."
mean? Actually, you're so down that we're not even down with you.
Exactly. You're
We
so
have
down
we
that we
have
want
our
no
limitations.
parts.
Exactly. We have our
With the
limitations.
pinky ring and the mad gel that you got in your hair, that could probably give gel. If we wet it, it could probably give gel to 3 heads.
He
But
was
you know what,
Italian?
Peter? Yeah, Italian. And he was
Yeah.
cool. But after that, he was like, "You know what, girls? I am so sorry. I'll just keep it really corporate." I was like, "No, you could be yourself, but I don't think you gotta be doing all that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
what?" I was just like, and there's a difference too, like, because I know even now, like, if you see, like, even at work now, if I see, because I'm making more and more friends, so I see more and more Spanish people, and if I see, I'm like, "Hola, amiga," blah, 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 whatever, right? But that happens one-on-one. If she's with someone that doesn't speak it, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right.
my best friend is Bayesian from Barbados, and she knows some Spanish, but she doesn't know a lot of Spanish. So I'm usually just translating for her, especially if there's like a group of people talking with us. I'm just like, "Okay, hold on, let me translate." And then I'll say something like, "Hey, she doesn't know, so I'm translating, but if you don't mind, can you do it in English? Because I don't want her to feel."
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much."
I have to do
Unless
that with
it's a
my
whole
mom.
bunch of old Spanish ladies, then she's on her own, because then they like, and then I'll just lean over and be like, "Girl, they ain't even talking. Don't worry about it.
They're not even talking about you.
Yeah, don't even worry about what they talk about. They talk about
Yeah.
everything. It's crazy." Nah, but yeah, like, but the Latina stereotype, let's get into it.
No, that's what I'm saying. We started that part of the conversation because I was like, I'm not gonna give this fiery attitude stereotype. I'm gonna get up and walk away, because it's like, personally and professionally, it's always this thing of like, we have an attitude, we are too intense, all the everything that we do. If a man does it, he's assertive. If we do it, we're, again, it's intense, and it's like we're always seen to be just like Jaja, like always very, like, as if we have fruit baskets on our head and shit.
Not
know
a
what I'm
fruit
saying?
basket.
Yeah, it's like that stereotypical. It's like,
Yo.
here it goes, and it's like it's what I said earlier, that it's also something that I do love about us, but it is,
to me, is like a cultural pattern that's exaggerated.
yes,
Right? Like, we have to, like, okay, one instance, and then you could take it. But one instance for me is, and I saw this on a meme, and it was actually an African American family that was playing spades or dominoes. I don't know what it was. And they had a Caucasian friend over, and they were all talking really, really loud. And he was in the background, and he was scared as fuck. You could tell in his face. And then one of his friends leaned over and was like, "Hey, no, we're just being loud because that's just the way we are. Nothing's going on. You're good." And then he was just like, the relief in his face was like, "Oh shit, okay, fine." Right? So my example is that all my aunts, may they rest in peace, the ones that are not here, But when they all got together with my mom, it would be like these levels of volumes and laughter and, blah, 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 and people talking over each other, but they're still understanding. And then they had their own language. And piquiti, they used to talk some other language in front of the kids. So like that, we wouldn't understand what they were saying. And that's when we knew that they were talking about people. But anyways, so it's, and if you go to a party, and it's not just the women, the men are the same way. Like if they're playing dominoes, if they're being passionate, Latinos are just like a passionate, I don't know, it's like a passionate culture, and people always just want to exude it. There's always energy. There's always love. There's always there's always all that popping off. So if your upbringing was something different, and it's fine, right? If you were brought up in something that was a little bit less loud and more of a monotone, whatever, and that's fine too. A little boring for me. I would not switch it for. I would not switch.
Me either.
And I am very comfortable in crazy ass environments. So that I wanted to say that because I know when I said there are patterns that are exaggerated. Yeah. When we're having conversations, it may be a whole bunch of people talking, but we are retaining everything that's happening.
7 conversations.
Pow, 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 pow. And be talking like this and be like, hold on.
Here,
by the way, blah, blah, blah.
There, exactly. Talking here, answering there, bringing it back, still listening, making sure the message was understood.
Multitasking.
Starting a new one here. Exactly. It's like when Phil and I first started dating, and he would come to my family events or whatever, and then he would like disappear. And I'm like, where's Phil? And then I'll never forget, one day I go upstairs and he's in the room. He's in one of the bedrooms upstairs at my mom's house. And I was like, are you okay? He's like, I just needed a break. And I was like, what? He's like, y'all are a lot. Y'all are a lot. But, it's funny because Italian people are like that. Yep. Greek people are like that. There's a lot of Black families that are like that. But Phil didn't grow up with his family. So he and his sense of family was very much like mine. So he used to be like, oh, shit. It's an intensity in our culture that it is, to me, I mean, it's like, okay, it's a stereotype because obviously we can't speak of the entire group, but it's like, it should be something that's welcomed, but once again, when things are not the same or unfamiliar, it creates that, like, instead of people being open to it, it's like automatic, oh, the sass, oh, the intensity. It's also like when they say Latina women are crazy in relationships or very jealous in relationships or like fiery and it's like, what's wrong with being fiery and passionate? You know what I mean?
And expressive.
Right.
And passionate.
I always say for me, you're never going to wonder what's on my mind. You don't have to wonder what's on my mind.
And we interrupt because we're excited. We're not rude. Okay?
Well, we interrupt because I had a concussion.
And I'm 51, so I'm going to forget.
Period.
But I have to say that when we were younger, if we did interrupt, it was because we were so excited about what we wanted to say. Like, it's like, I gotta get this out. Like, let me contribute. So it's not rude and it's not anger. It's passion. If it makes any sense.
It's not rude or passion.
And if you see, like, when you see me, like, usually, like, we talk with our hands too. If we're doing this, we're like, yo, ding, 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 ding. And you're like, and the person that's not used to it is going to be like, oh, whoa, whoa, trying to catch the hands, trying to catch the conversation.
Or even it's funny because the more and more we are talking about it, I'm like, are they stereotypes or are they facts? Because even you earlier, you made a mueca and you were like, and I was like, I do exact. And people, obviously, a mueca is like a facial expression that we could fully have a full conversation and not exchange a word. And it's like, but it's, I guess it's stereotypical, but.
And I mean, we could be labeled as too much, right? You said that. And in some reserved cultures, they may say, oh, that's too much.
And I'm like, you're not enough.
But to me, exactly. To me, you know what that is to me? Emotional fluency.
Oh, I love that.
Because you want to share your passion. You want to share your thought. You want to share, even if it's an argument, even if it's mad, even if there is drama, right? Because I grew up around it. Trust me. My mother and my father. Woo, woo. I have a sign that says "Do not go to bed mad." Ooh, oh, they should have had that sign.
Woo, woo. I read it.
But you know what? We are labeled as, and as I get older, I'm like, yo, have it. You want to cut me off? Go ahead, do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like on the highway
Yep.
before, I would be like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, bruh, people are so temperamental now. There's more people with guns. I'm like, have it. Like the girls at the park, I've brought them up before, Coke Park. You ain't about that life. You're right. I will call the police on you.
Right. Right.
I am not about that life.
Right.
But a lot of us were raised in mother only, or mothers that were matriarchs, right, in the family. There wasn't a father figure.
Yep.
And I'm speaking for myself, where mom handled everything, bills, kids, work, disrespect, okay, and didn't back down. We grew up in a neighborhood where, and I've said this before, going to the corner store, I would see people hemmed up on the wall just because they were hanging out. And some of them sold drugs, right? And that's just a product of the environment. But many of them didn't. But it was a normal thing to be hemmed up on the wall. And being hemmed up on the wall means that the cops came through and they have a stereotype, or they have a profile of somebody that they're looking for, quote unquote. And they have a lineup of like 15 guys that are standing outside my house, which was the projects at the time. And they're patting them down. So guess who used to come downstairs and yell at the police? All the moms. All the moms, Black and Spanish, would be like, why the hell you got these kids hemmed up? They don't sell drugs. They're good kids. You should go see the guys that are selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? So we speak up, okay? There's confidence, boundaries, and all that stuff. But when all that stuff gets mixed up with a little bit of accent, then it's an attitude.
Right. So it's, I was going to say, listening to you speak, it's, the topic is strong Latina stereotypes, right? And it's like how they can harm us and how they can help us, let's say. And I think it's that fine line between, confusing passion for aggressiveness. Let's say professionally, but also in a space like that, how many people wouldn't even do anything or say anything?
Right.
And it's like, what is wrong with being passionate and being vocal? It's like, it's our right. It's what protests are made of. It's like the community you love, the boys you love, regardless if they were, they're also products of their environment. At the end of the day, those women are the ones who knew them, that they were good kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, every 2 out of 10 are probably pieces of shit, but also probably those 2 out of 10, their mom is out here hoeing, tricking, and it's like, how could you be so upset at a kid who's a result of some real fucked up shit? But that again comes to environmental, to geographical, to that point of like, how beautiful for these moms to be the ones passionately vocalizing for these boys, whether it made a difference or not. Who the hell cares?
No, it made a difference. It made a difference because then they set up like a little block watch, and then
that's funny because that goes into the other stereotype where it's like the stereotype of being a matriarch in the family and that Latinas can handle everything, but it's because we go into motion.
Yep. And you have to recognize that, and this can apply to everything, not just in a family setting. You could put this into your work life. You can put this into your relationship. You can put this in all types of relationships, not just, your love and your passionate relationships. It could be like your friendships. Because being direct, it's not being aggressive, it's knowing your worth. To me, the people that know me and know my honesty, they know that I'm not coming from a bad place. You know what I'm saying? If you asking me how these jeans look and I'm buying jeans with you, I'm going to be like, your ass long as fuck. Don't buy those jeans. Like, I'm not going to tell you look good in them jeans and you have no ass. Like, there's
as long as
there's some jeans that are flat.
I visualized it immediately. I knew exactly what
because there's some jeans that are flat in your ass, and then and you may love the way that they look in the front, but they look crazy in the back. Unless you're going to wear a long sweater, don't buy them. And that's usually you know what I'm saying? So people know that.
Who wouldn't rather that?
Exactly.
It's about delivery because, as you know, then you have the opposite where you're like, you're out and you're like, that girl ain't got no friend.
Right. Girl, get out my head. I'm going to charge you rent. I was going to say the same thing because we've seen it.
We witnessed.
On many occasions.
And very recently.
Yeah. Because I'd be like, I wish somebody sold mirrors so that girl could buy one and bring it home because obviously she has no mirrors and no friends.
No friends.
Jesus. How do you let your friend leave? Were you in a rush?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there was this...
Go ahead. No,
there
go
was
ahead.
this one time we were meeting over my girlfriend's house. We were all going to a 90s party. And I'm always on time. So, and sometimes a little bit earlier.
She's always early and on.
And I try my hardest not to be.
No. And I be.
But it drives me crazy.
Like,
it drives me crazy, so I have to be on time. So I was there a little bit earlier because I'm always thinking about parking and stuff. I just don't want to. But anyways, so I got there a little bit earlier and I saw that she had this outfit on. And I was just like, and she was like, what are you looking at? I was like, that shirt don't look right. She had a crop shirt on and it just didn't look right. Right. So I said, that shirt doesn't look right. And she was like, oh my gosh, that was pretty direct. I was like, okay, well, I'm letting you know that I think that you shouldn't go out the house looking like that. But okay. She went out the house looking like that anyway. And then, you know, our crew was very good looking and we were all like very cute. And then we were in a lot of pictures. So then the next day and the following week, she was like, Diana, you were right. I look crazy with my stomach hanging out all over the place. I was like, girl, I told you don't put that shirt on. I told you not to. I told you not to. You had another option and it looked amazing. You're beautiful. You don't need to be like, I would just say that her stomach wasn't ready for the crop top. That's all I'm going to say.
By the way, I would say the majority of the world's stomach is not ready for the crop top.
Right. But, you know, it's fine. But I'm just, to me.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, there's people that they don't care.
No. And I've always said this too. I have, even in a professional setting, right? I started my career at Sean John and it was the majority Black, brown, not many Latinas or whatever. But what I did learn as I grew in my career, as I then transitioned to more, you know, Caucasian companies, white companies, you know, I started working more corporate. It's like there is something to be said about knowing exactly what you're dealing with versus, in my experience, this is my lived experience. Every single time I have had a Caucasian supervisor, I have been stabbed in the back out of nowhere after being on a trajectory professionally where I knew I was delivering. You get what I'm saying? Contrary to when I was at Sean John, it's like you never had to guess if someone felt like you weren't carrying your weight on the team, if you was fucking up, if you weren't delivering, you know, it was okay. It could have been circumstantial because of these specific companies. Fine. Let's say that. But from my personal experience, it's like, and it's known. It's like, what is so wrong with being straightforward? Like, what is so wrong with being forward? And it's as we've discussed, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know, but it is a stereotype that Latinas, brown women are just very direct. And in maybe it's because we're coming from a space where we are those women that it's like, what's so wrong with that? You know what I mean? And it's actually, in a world where we are stereotypes, okay, yeah, it could hurt harm. I will say earlier in my career, I toned it down, similar to Diana. You know, like I'm very transparent. When I used to interview, I'd wear no hoops, I'd wear studs, wear my hair back, didn't wear a red lip. And then as I grew in my career and as a woman, I was like, well, why? Why can't I bring everything about me? My resume speaks for itself. And it's like, and yeah, it's like the resume speaks for itself and the face that goes with the resume is this person. So whether it's something that comes with time, with age, with growth, professionally or personally, there's a difference between being direct, being honest, and being ratchet. You get what I'm saying? It's just unfortunate that for people who don't get to experience brown and black culture very often in social settings or professional settings, their immediate thought is that it's aggressive when really it has nothing to do with aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? Rigidity is aggressive. It's confrontational. It is we fighting. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Assertiveness and clarity is completely different.
I'm very honest. I'm very honest. I don't think I've, in my last career, I would tone it down a little bit. Like you said, I've been very transparent about that too, but I was always very honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yes, I agree with this one. I don't. I don't think you should do that. Oh no, I don't want bracelets for my birthday. I want cash. Thank you though.
Right.
Lola
agrees. Lola agrees. She wants cash. Diana's on mute.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But
Lola agrees. Right, baby.
To that, pivoting into another stereotype that, as I was thinking about it, was very interesting to me is like brown and black women are always seen like we don't break, like we can handle everything. Like you get a divorce, you lose a parent, you like go through death, go through losing a job or whatever, and it's this stereotype that we can handle anything. That it's almost kind of when we discussed last week. By the way, mad love to everybody who has really showed up for the episode for Bad Bunny. Our viewership was amazing on that episode.
Thank you.
But when we discuss the scene with the girls and the bricks, it's almost like how dope, like, you know, like the women are the foundation, we're the backbone, blah, blah, blah. But bitch, how exhausting, you know, like how exhausting that we have to, I guess we don't have to live up to it. But to me, the stereotype rings true. It's like, it doesn't mean it's true. The fact that we are strong doesn't mean that that's where we want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's something that we become proud of, that we, you know, and we've discussed being in your feminine. We've discussed being forced to be in our masculine on previous episodes. So it again, it's like, yeah, you're so strong, man. Even in me losing Phil, it's like this unspoken, like, if anybody can handle it, you can handle it. And it's like, what the fuck? Is that a compliment?
Right.
Just because you can.
I told you
I should or I want to.
You can cry.
Exactly.
Can yell,
exactly.
You can get ice cream, whatever you want. With
we both black girls and
because I'm always bring the jokes. That's the way I handle grief.
Yes.
And I know Phil would appreciate that.
Exactly.
Like that, you always got jokes. Nah, but I think it's because whether or not you were forced or trained to be a caregiver early on in your life, right? As Latinas, I can speak to as Latinas, right? My mom had to do 2 and sometimes 3 jobs on the weekends, right? She actually worked at a McDonald's that was almost shot up on Albany Avenue, and then after that she quit.
Wild.
Yeah, after that she quit. But she was the one person that talked the guy down, that calmed him down, so that he wouldn't shoot it up. She was like, "You come here all the time. Like, why are you doing this?" type thing. But then after that, she quit and she came home, and that was one of the times that I saw my mom just like I've never seen her before. And when you started saying about being strong, she was just like, she was just tired. And we were hugging her. My brother, I don't think my sister remembers. She was too young. But me and my brother were holding her, and she was just like, I'm just tired. You know? And I remember her just like in our arms, just saying she's just tired and she's just going to leave the job. And, you know, she was doing all of that so that we could go monthly to New York and get the best sneakers. She was doing that so that we, you know, she didn't have to do all the things that she was doing, but she did because she was conditioned, trained or whatever to be everything. And so she instilled it in me to take care of my siblings, right? So while she was doing that, I was taking care of my siblings. Right. There were certain things I couldn't do at after school programs or whatever. I had to learn how to cook when I was 12 years old and and respect my elders and put family first. That's another thing. That's another stereotype that we're too much into family. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right? But that's totally true. And I found it out, I want to say probably like in my late 30s, that I was just like, you know what? Fuck that. If I want to have a good cry, I'm going to have a good cry.
Yeah.
And it's an ugly one too. And if
Yep.
I want to express myself, I'm going to express myself. Because at the end of the day, whoever you're expressing yourself to, if they don't like it, they will weed themselves out. You will know your people. You will know those people that will be there for you. And if you don't have any of those people, you could pay somebody. And usually your insurance covers it. And you could get yourself a therapist. Get yourself a good therapist. Get yourself a good gym. If you need to get some frustration out, go punch a bag. Punch the air, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many outlets. But it is so true that you have to let go of some of that shit. And that is not a compliment. Please don't tell nobody that's lost anybody. You know what? If I know anyone that can handle it, you can. You have anxiety, girl, just relax. Girl, that has been, because I've had anxiety. My anxiety kicked in, I want to say, at 19. And I was like, what the fuck am I feeling? What the fuck is this? Why am I feeling like I want to run, hide, feeling of doom? Like, what the fuck is going on? And to this beautiful Mexican woman, which was my doctor, and she told me, and she ended up moving to California, and then I ended up with Dr. Ramirez, who's still my doctor to this day. I'm telling him, don't retire, bruh. Don't retire. But he's about to retire soon. But she was like, no, you know what? That's anxiety. And this is ABC. And she did not go straight to medication, which was amazing, because now everything is a pill. Everything's a pill. Even GLP-1s is a pill. But, she was just telling me all the things that I could do. And I'm able to manage it now. Like, I know when it's coming on, so I could breathe through it, meditation and all that stuff. And sometimes a gummy. But, but I say all that to say that you have to make sure that you're reading the room, and, you don't tell a person, you're strong, your husband of 27 years passed away, but girl, you strong. You got this. What the fuck? Tell me right away. Whenever she's around, let me know.
It's a stereotype, but it's factual. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like, but it's a result of something. So one of the stereotypes that I had thought about too is like, oh, Latinas are like natural caretakers, or, and when I say Latinas, I refer to like
we want
Black
to.
and brown women, you know what I'm saying? Because even if you heard what you said about your mom, you were like, I was 12 and I had to take care of my siblings. It's like, so are you a natural caretaker, or is that something that was passed down to you? You know,
it was totally passed down.
Yes, it's.
I was still playing with my Barbies.
You're forced to be in this position where it's like, well, what do I not? So then it's like you get this label of natural caretaker, when really it's like burnout disguised as loyalty. It's I think women, not all of them, by nature are more caring, more mothering. And I'm not saying you have to be a mother to be more mothering as the feminine, but that stereotype that we're natural caretakers, it's like, no. If you look at lineage, or even in conversation without even noticing, it's like your mom had to work, your mom had to do shit to make sure y'all were good. So you're the oldest, and naturally you become a caretaker. It was not a choice. It was not a decision. And once again, it's a fucking stereotype. It's like, I don't want to be fucking helping raise my brother and sister. I'm 12.
Girl, I distinctly remember putting my Barbies away, because I used to love my Barbies, and I used to braid their hair. Girl, I used to comb their hair so much, messed around and put relaxer and burnt one of them the whole scalp off the fucking. My mother got mad. She was like, "Where?"
It's like me when
with this relaxer?
I ironed my bathing suit.
Well, I put relaxer on the damn doll head. Not a good idea. But I remember like putting them away because my mom had to go to work. And sometimes she couldn't cook before she left because she was running from one job to the next. Like she would just run home to change. Sometimes she would just take the clothes, call me from the next job and be like, because both my aunts lived, but then my other aunt was taking care of my other aunt's kids. And
Again,
then my
forced
aunt,
to be
yeah.
caretaker.
So then my aunt down the
Forced
hill
to be
was
caretaker.
working a couple jobs herself because all three of them, they didn't have husbands, right? So they're doing like all this stuff and then we're all taking
But
care
if
of
you
each
think about
other.
it, it's like from tribal mindset, which again, that's Black and brown culture.
Mhm.
Tribal mindset. I'm saying tribal. Read between the lines, people. Black and brown culture.
Mhm.
Because this is thousands, hundreds of thousands of years in the making. The saying "it takes a village" came from a real place. So once again, the stereotype of being it's like we were forced to be. It was passed down, and I'm gonna say it. It's like that's why white people had slaves. They didn't need to caretake. Again, it's like they were not forced to be caretakers. They had people to put in place to caretake. So there is a big significant difference, and it's just the fact.
And you shouldn't be. That chain is broken. Like the thing, at least in my family. I teach my kids things so that they can survive on their own. It's not something that they're gonna have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like even when I met Carlos and I had my two older boys, like it was never like, okay, watch Aaron, you watch Jalen so that I can go on a date. You know what I'm saying? It was never that. Like it was me paying my sister or paying my mom so that I can go on a date. It was never I never imposed it on them because I know how it felt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in doing it for so many years, I feel that people need to stop being everything, not just for their family, but just being everything for everyone. Because now it's leaving the household. When you're being everything for that person and the people that you love in your home, and it's okay to be there for your friends and stuff like that. But you can't be everything to everybody. But then you can also, on the same token, don't expect yourself in other people. Because there'd be some people that like, I did this for you, I did that for you, I did this for you, I did that for you. If you're doing stuff to get an award, if you're doing stuff to get a parade, if you're doing stuff, you cash all these things when you're going to heaven or wherever there's other places, you know, after our spirit leaves our body. You should not be like, you know, we say los hispanos tirando en cara. Like you should not be throwing it in people's faces, the things that you do, right? But you have to make sure that there's no burnout, that you're not doing any over giving, you know, because there's also people that take advantage. There are those people, they're like, pues si me siguen dando, voy a seguir cogiendo. If they keep giving, I'm going to translate it. If you keep giving, I'm going to keep taking.
That ain't a stereotype. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to end this little section of my little tiny mini rant, you have to make sure that you're not feeling that you're responsible for everybody's emotions around you. Like you can
Which is another stereotype.
You can burn the fuck out.
That we are responsible for everyone's feelings.
Oh my God, and apologizing.
How people respond. For que no se ofenda, so you don't offend anybody.
Que dirá la gente?
No, fuck that. It's like which we didn't do, but when we were getting ready for this topic, I was like, for instance, like being this stereotype of being natural caretaker. It's like, why is it that it's always like, oh yeah, you know, natural caretaker instead of being, wow, like how empathetic is this human being? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like twisting it into being like, are we natural caretakers, or being forced to be natural caretakers makes us extremely empathetic people, you know, which is why if I continue, it's like the majority of us will not put our parents in a home. You know what I'm saying? Like when it gets to that point, usually it's because medically you cannot do it, you know, and even still, I know for my family, I know my parents most likely will not go to a home. And I say that not knowing what the future holds, obviously. But what I saw was my grandfather at my mom's house, my grandmother at my mom's house. And it's because, are we caretakers, or are we so empathetic that we don't want to see the people we love in situations or places where they don't feel loved the
They're
way
going to
they
be
should?
abused, or not that they will, but you don't, in the back of our minds, we're like, they're not going to take care of them like I would.
When my grandfather ended up in a home because my mom just couldn't care for him anymore with his diabetes and his illnesses, my mom still, he was in a home 5 minutes from my mom. My mom still brought him food every day and visited him every day. Hence, the nurses loved him. The nurses loved our family. But in that, I remember clearly so many people that never got visitors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So many people that hadn't seen their families, that never got anybody coming to bring them food, bring them a meal. My mom used to end up making big things of rice and just bring food for everybody at the home. And it's like, if only we could start seeing things in less stereotypical ways, and that's across the board, and see them more like, again, that's the one example is like being forced to be a caretaker. Fuck yeah, you know what? That's generational trauma. That's shit that Diana, as she noted, is shifting in her life, in her family, and being forced into something can have a twist to it, and you can see the light in it, which is that does build empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Even with me with Phil, it's like I made a commitment to him so he took his last breath, regardless of the intricacies of our relationship. And it's like I would do it again. And my prayer for my daughter is that shows her empathy. It shows her that when you love, this is no judgment to how people love, but when you love fully, you love wholly, and you take what comes in that.
Mm-hmm. And some people may ask, like, where we get these traits from, right? So I made a list, and
that's funny. I have a list too.
So at the end of the day, even though my parents are from Puerto Rico, when they got here, they didn't know any English. So that's immigrant resiliency, right? And then you have a collective like culture and groupings of people, right, that's sharing in the same thing. So the reason why I say the immigrant resiliency first, right, because then you start looking for those pockets of people that are just like you, people that don't know English. Okay, I can hang with these people. So my dad and my mom met each other, they got engaged, they got married, then they found this huge population of Puerto Ricans that play softball at Cole Park. Okay, so a community, right? So then you have the stomp, like I said, and then that didn't work out for them because my father went and did whatever he did. Love him to death still, but he know what he did. He's paying for it now. Then you got those strong women forces, right, that are doing everything. So as you're growing up, you're seeing these things, but then you go to Catholic church. So then you got that on top of you as well, right? Mm-hmm. But then, like I just said, so now my dad's not there and he's giving money every once in a while. He's struggling with work, whatever. So then there's economic struggle. Mm-hmm. All these things are building toughness. All these things, it's not, I'm tough because I want to be tough and I want to be sassy and I want to be spicy. No, it's layers. It's a layered cake. It's an onion you're peeling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to be an onion because sometimes there's trauma in there. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like things that when people say, oh yeah, we used to go to Martha's Vineyard. I met this African-American girl who's well off. And she's in her late 40s. Oh, we used to go every year. We used to go to Martha's Vineyard. I remember growing up and I was just like, we had different. Yeah, at 10, I wasn't.
Result of survival. It's survival.
And that's so funny because my last one is celebration as survival. That's so it. Music, food, dancing in hard times. Yeah. Right. So even if you're going through struggle, even if there's only a one-parent home, even if, there's economic, but I remember like everybody just putting what they had together, like all the aunts. Mm-hmm. And I was little because when I told my mom this memory, she was like, you were so small. How do you remember that? But I remember the kitchen and everybody putting everything that they had and saying, oh, let's split it 4 ways. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what, to save, to save on these birthdays, let's put these 3 birthdays together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why me and as you know, my cousins and all of us were so close even to this day, right? And as adults, we've grown a little bit further apart because everybody has their lives or whatever. But when we get together and we get to sit down and talk, I always tell them, now we know how hard it was to keep family together. Like we took it for granted because we thought it was so easy. It wasn't, because look at us. We're growing apart, even though we see each other every once in a while. I'll say maybe like 10 times a year now. Whereas before, every single birthday was celebrated. Whereas before, everything was just like we saw our cousins all the time, you know. But now that we're older and have our lives, it's hard because people. So yeah, it was hard for them too because guess what? They had 2 and 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
survival. So
go through your list. Let me see what you got. It's probably some of the same stuff.
I had the path of immigration. I had financial instability. I had also survival. So, oh, you're so strong, or you're a caretaker, blah, blah, blah. I need to survive. This is how I survive. So in that, it's you know, are these stereotypes, or are they, once again, I'm going to say it for the 100th time, results of generational traumas, generational things that force you into, you know, having to be sassy, having to be, you know, bold and upfront, having to become a caretaker, having to be the person who holds everything and be strong all the time. It's a lot of times you are a result. As my daughter flushes the toilet, because of course we have 3 bathrooms and she has to come use the one here while I'm recording. Nonetheless, if you didn't hear, great. If you did,
I heard it, but it's fine.
Yeah, because three bathrooms in this house, and she has to come here. But before we wrap, I strongly just believe stereotypes are a result of forced lineage.
Yep. And those stereotypes, just so that you know, those stereotypes, and not you, Rocio, but our listeners that may not be Latina, they become harmful when they box us in. For instance, when Rocio was saying that she needed to wear a stud, or, you know, wear her hair straight, or wear it in a bun.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and not wear a red lip, you know. They excuse the disrespect. Oh, she's just fiery.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been told in my career, when I blow dried my hair, I think I've shared this, it was like, oh, wow, you're so much more approachable. Did you just, and that's where I felt the man at the beach was going.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, listen,
listen to your body and walk away.
Get up and remove yourself from the situation.
And one thing that's huge with me, and I've always said this throughout the podcast and in life in general, is that folks tend, and not just, and I'm talking about everybody, even Puerto Ricans that are light or fair skinned, they ignore the diversity in the brown. Let's say the Afro-Latinas, the Indian, indigenous Latinas, the white Latinas, the white passing Latinas get it too. They get it too, because they're like, oh, you pass as white. And they're like, well, I don't want to. I'm Latina, you know. And then we have some quiet Latinas who are introverted Latinas that are not loud. And then they're like, you're not really Puerto Rican, you know, because I've met a couple Puerto Ricans that are like, well, I get the opposite.
What am I supposed to be like?
Yeah, I'm the opposite. You know, people tell me that I'm not fiery enough. So it's just like, what the fuck are we supposed to be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we loud, or are we just not shrinking?
Well, we will never be. It's boring.
Right. Are we dramatic, or are we emotionally expressive?
You're never going to wonder what's on my mind.
Are we aggressive, or are we unafraid?
Bitch, I ain't scared.
I love that. And that wasn't even planned. So I would say, especially to our young listeners, because I know that we have some that don't shrink. Be you. If every once in a while you want to wear a hoop, wear a hoop. Don't wear an exaggerated one, especially in corporate, because then you really going to be like, wait a minute. But wear your hoop, wear a red lip. Every once in a while, wear a red lip. And folks are like, ooh. And I'm like, yes, I'm fiery today. Or I'll say, ooh, I'm spicy today. Be careful. I am spicy. Be careful.
Yes.
But be you. Be you.
But I will share this too, that it's funny because I've had the most success when I have allowed myself, and for me it's been, embraced my disability, and I wear short sleeves to big meetings. It's like I dye my hair any color, wear it big and curly. You obviously, sadly, we still live in a time where you gotta kind of like read the room, but I think it has a lot to do with embracing every piece of who you are, and also knowing when to walk away, when not to engage, and knowing when you're not going to, I shouldn't say that, I retract. It's not that you're not going to change someone or their mindset or their stereotype, but it's more about having enough discernment to know it's not worth it for you, with your time and your energy to be spent to engage in something that is a waste of time. Someone who's an ally will approach you, or who's even interested in becoming an ally will approach you with inquisitiveness, will approach you with interest. And sometimes it's done in a very dumb way, like the guy Diana mentioned earlier, when people want to, they feel like they need to speak a certain way to have this like, oh, he's down energy, when it's really like, it's like I said, it's like, actually, you two down and we don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? But
so I want to end with, and then you can give your thoughts. I want to end with,
I ended on rap.
Maybe we just refuse to be left. What the world calls dramatic, fiery, or intense is often just culture, resilience, and generations of women who survive by being just strong. We are not stereotypes, we are stories. And every Latina gets to define her own. So you don't have to live by these stereotypes. You can take the time to not burn out. You can be fiery, but also let it out. Talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to your mom, talk to whatever. Get it out. Don't keep it in, because again, that burnout, when Rocio said it, and I had it on my notes, I was like, because it's been some times where I'm just like, screaming into a pillow, and then I'm like, oh, that felt amazing. Or I go in the car and scream.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Or I've honestly, and this is so, I'm going to give y'all something that I've done in the past. I haven't done it in a long time, but it's so freaking amazing. I have gone to the dollar store and bought 10 plates and went to a parking lot and broken those 10 plates. It is amazing.
There it is.
It is amazing. And don't worry, I didn't leave the mess behind. I picked it up.
Actually, sidebar, I want to go to one of those
break rooms. Yeah.
Oh,
that was way before the break rooms. Sometimes I threw them inside the damn garbage cans, and just to like break and
noise.
Yeah. And the release was amazing. And then I found comfort, because in the same dollar store, I bought this little, dustpan with the brush that was attached, and I would just pick it up like, yep, this is my mess. And
guess what? If anyone saw you, you were just fulfilling a stereotype anyway.
She was being fiery, like, what the fuck wrong with this bitch? She out here breaking plates. It felt so good, though.
Just Latina. She's okay. Nothing to see here, folks.
Nothing to see here. I don't think nobody saw me. I used to hide very well. But, yeah, it's very soothing. TMI.
That being said, always an encouraging word. We always going to leave you with an encouraging word.
Yes.
And we are not living in a time right now where you need to feed into any of the stereotypes. If you're not being yourself at every point of the day, sis, like, what are we really doing? It's not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. And love, 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 love. And if you have love in your life, hold on to that shit. Shit is crazy out here right now.
That's right.
Right,
we love y'all.
We love y'all. Thank you so much for the views. Yo, share us. The fuck?
In love.
Bye.
Gracias for listening to Cositas Mami Never Told Me. We hope you loved this episode. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share Cositas Mami Never Told Me on all your social channels. Todas las redes sociales. And don't forget, if you want in on the real tea and see all of our reactions to the craziness, watch this episode on YouTube. ¡Qué bochinche!